Australia has not banned the AstraZeneca vaccine. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because we're going to talk about the apparent banning, which isn't actually a banning, of the AstraZeneca vaccine here in Australia. It's been reported that it has been banned. Well, it hasn't actually, everyone. The Prime Minister says there is no ban on the vaccine. Now, I would argue people should have a choice. You should be able to choose if you want to receive the vaccine or not, and you should be able to choose what different options are available to you, if the market should be able to provide it. If you go to your doctor and say, you know what, I feel like having the Russian vaccine. Can you order that one in for me? Maybe he could. Sure, if you want to pay a significant amount more, maybe they'll fly it in special for you in rubles. Or you could pick the Pfizer vaccine, or you could pick this one. I didn't like the fact that the government put all our eggs in one basket. It's kind of saying you have to take this one. You don't know which one you'll get. But then again, I'd advocate more for personal freedoms. So let's have a look at that. Australia has not banned the AstraZeneca vaccine. So, Scott Morrison has stressed the AstraZeneca vaccine has not been banned after health authorities slapped a warning on the jab for people under 50. The government's rollout plan has been plunged into chaos over revelations the AstraZeneca jab, which has been set to account for most vaccinations in Australia, was linked to a rare but deadly form of blood clotting. Now, we're going to look at the actual risk factors of these blood clots and compare it to another drug that is pretty much handed out like candy here, all in the Western world, protecting you from the terrible, dangerous risk of being a parent. Which do you think? I'll just let you guess. Which do you think has a higher risk of blood clotting? To the point where I suspect, because I thought this whole AstraZeneca hoo-ha was kind of a European Union little political attack against Britain for Brexit. A bit of punishment there. And remember, this is the one that Australia has the capacity to manufacture ourselves here. So what do you think would have a high risk level? So, Mr. Morrison announced on Thursday night authorities had recommended the Pfizer vaccine as the preferred jab for 11.2 million Australians aged between 18 and 49. But speaking after a meeting of National Cabinet on Friday, the Prime Minister stressed there was no blanket ban on the AstraZeneca jab, which he declared a life-saving vaccine. It is not a prohibition on the AstraZeneca vaccine. It recommends and notes that the risk of the side effects are remote. They are very rare, he said. There was no instruction not to take the vaccine. There is an acknowledgement of the risk that is there, but as is the case always with these matters, these are decisions for Australians. Well, hopefully we're allowed to choose which one we want, and maybe even if we want to take it ourselves, without being subjected to, forced to have passports or identification, or refused business, or refused to trade. That's what's really concerning here. And that's what, it should be. People should be able to pick to have it or not. Mr. Morrison claimed AstraZeneca remained a critical component for the nation's rollout strategy and rejected suggestions confidence in the vaccine had been irreparably undermined. The information is very clear that if you're over the age of 50, it is recommended you do have the vaccine, he said. You would be putting yourself at risk if you didn't get the vaccine. COVID is a much greater threat by a factor many, many times over than the AstraZeneca vaccine. He declared the government's priority remained completing Phase 1A and 1B of the rollout, the bulk of which was made up of people over 50. This is important because the goal here is to protect the most vulnerable in our community. If we wanted to treat COVID-19 like the flu, then we need to ensure, or if we want to treat COVID-19 like the flu, then we need to ensure that we're vaccinating those in our community who are the most vulnerable. The most vulnerable people in our community are not just over 50, they're actually a lot older than that. The AstraZeneca vaccine is well suited to address those critical vulnerable groups. Health Minister Greg Hunt claimed plans for the early stages of Australia's rollout remained largely unchanged by Thursday's development. Mr. Morrison also confirmed National Cabinet had agreed on a more transparent daily and weekly reporting on vaccination figures, including a state-by-state breakdown and the number of distributed, administered and available doses. The federal government's previous reporting system has been criticised as opaque. I mean, here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of fear. There's going to be a lot of people scared with this. It's been developed fast. It's been all over the media. Any side effect issue is going to scare everyone. I mean, we've had a year of just fear. People being locked up, people losing their freedoms. Everyone's on edge. The meeting of federal, state and territory leaders also agreed to the principles of Australian COVID-19 management and reopening strategies, Mr. Morrison revealed. He said that would include advice from the Australian Health Protection Principle Committee, and ticked and seated gatherings could hold at full capacity, while keeping internal borders open would remain a priority. The message from National Cabinet is we want to open up more. We want to do it safely. We want to ease restrictions. We want to do that in a consistent way across the country, Morrison said. Well, you need to do that for the economy. We want to do that because we know we are not just managing the health, but we are managing the economics as well for people's livelihoods and well-being. This is going to be an ongoing and increasing focus of the International Cabinet. Mr. Morrison confirmed Australia had bought an additional 20 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, taking its total order to 40 million. So let's compare, everyone. Let's compare the risks of, well, this one, the AstraZeneca, to the birth control pill, which everyone takes. Now, Rachel has been doing a lot of study on the birth control. She's had friends ask her all these questions about it. Because, of course, with a mother of 5, you're meant to know everything about it. She's been getting into some books and really discovering some quite shocking impacts that it can have on your body and on your health. I mean, everyone knows that you can put on weight. It can destroy your sex life, really take your entire drive away. It actually mimics being in menopause. And it can have a blood clot risk, among other things. So I find it quite sad, really, when you see these women. I remember I've worked with them. They're all super healthy and everything. And then they're, I only eat organic, vegan mushrooms from the Himalayas. And then they're taking all these chemicals. It even actually impacts who you're attracted to. So you'll find women will be on the pill. They'll get married and then try to have go to have kids, and they'll go off the pill, and it'll take some time for it to clear out of the system. But they may not have the same attraction to their husband as they had before when they were on the pill. So it's not a natural thing, guys. Don't kid yourself. So let's have a look. Currently, several European Union countries are suspending use of the AstraZeneca vaccine due to reports of blood clot risks. In response, people are highlighting the higher risks of blood clots posed by the contraceptive pill. And I mean, here you go. All the European Union countries. Are we sure this isn't political, everyone? I'm certain countries and nations wouldn't be doing anything like that. Yesterday, the Republic of Ireland, and this is from a couple of weeks ago, suspended use of the AstraZeneca. On March the 16th, Germany, France, Italy had also stopped the COVID vaccine from being distributed. In late February, Germany received a shipment of 1.45 million doses, using up over 200,000, the population appearing reluctant to take up this vaccine in particular. Now these countries are suggesting that reports of blood clots in Norway are a key concern for population health. 3 individuals have found blood clots, while a 4th has died from a brain hemorrhage. In January, a feud broke out between the European Commission and AstraZeneca after the drug maker announced that the bloc would be receiving 60% less vaccines than expected in their March delivery. This led to a palpable tension between the two parties. There you go. The world observed as transparency mechanisms were implemented by the Commission, and the CEO of AstraZeneca gave a long interview to explain that manufacturing was slower than expected. Geir Bokholm, director of the Division of Infection Control and Environmental Health at the Norwegian Institute of Public Health, commented, "The NIPH has put the AstraZeneca vaccine on hold in the coronavirus immunization program. Now it is the Norwegian Medicines Agency's roles to follow up on these suspected side effects and take the necessary measures in this serious situation. On Tuesday, the 11th of March, the European Medicines Agency, EMA, commented there is currently no indication that the vaccine has caused these conditions, which are not listed as side effects with this vaccine. Both the WHO and the European Medicines Agency found that AstraZeneca is still safe for use among all age groups, and the EMA are currently running an investigation into the vaccine. In phase 3 of clinical trials, blood clots did not present a problem. Currently, the UK is creating a real-world data by vaccinating the population with AstraZeneca. The data reveals that the AstraZeneca vaccine was 60% effective in preventing COVID in people who were at least 70 years old, while the Pfizer vaccine was 61% effective in the same age group. There have been 30 reported blood clots across 5 million people in Europe. The use of birth control creates significant risks of blood clots. When it comes to real-world side effects, there's already a global administered medication that is more likely to create blood clots. Research published in The Lancet found that oral contraceptives tripled the risk of blood clots, a risk which only further increased with obesity and a family history of blood clots. This is the thing, guys. This pill is not good for your health, and they're just giving it out like anything. You've got to... If you really don't want to have kids, look at other methods of controlling your having birth, guys. I mean, okay, I love, we're a big family. We don't care. Doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world having kids, okay, guys? It isn't. You sort it out. Changes your life for the better. Okay, but you got to look at these risk factors that are in here. I mean, you can use what is it? There's an app. It'll measure your temperature. You can track it. Natural family planning, and you can get an efficiency up to like 99%. Something insane, as effective as birth control. If the problem is, you've got to have self-control on the best days to get jiggy, guys. That's the problem. I've spoken to people before that have tried natural family planning, and one thing leads to another, and you want to have a bit of fun. What is it? Netflix and chili or something? And then you have children. So, according to UN figures from 2019, 842 million people use hormonal contraceptives. When it comes to hormonal methods of birth control, especially those that use estrogen, the person taking these pills is at a high risk of blood clots. Hormonal contraceptions use synthetic hormones which aim to mimic the body without causing as much impact, are also creating the risk of blood clots. Progesterone is a synthetic form of a key hormone which exists in various forms across several birth control pills. One type of progesterone, drosophine, was found by the University of Michigan to increase the risk of blood clots more than any other form of progesterone. This is found in the popular contraceptive, yada, yada, yada. And what we'll do is we'll skip down here to where they are saying it. The FDA estimates the risk of birth control users developing a serious blood clot is 3 to 9 women out of 10,000 each year. 3 to 9 women. If roughly 842 million use hormonal methods across the world, that means a potential 252,000 to 757,800 people are at risk of blood clots while using birth controls. Okay? So 3 to 9 women out of 10,000. And we saw the figures up here with the UK that they were looking at. And this Sky News is reporting that the Oxford AstraZeneca has a risk of 1 in 250,000. Dr. June Rain, Chief Executive of the MHRA, says 79 cases of blood clots have been reported and that the side effects pose a risk of 1 out of 250,000 people. So there you have it, everyone. What do you think? It has not been banned here in Australia, guys. It hasn't. It hasn't been banned. The risks are less. 1 in 250,000 compared to 3 out of 10,000 for the pill. And that's handed out like candy. People aren't worried about it. No one's talking about it. So is this a case of just hypersensitive to any potential risks or issues? But you can't really blame people, can you? Because what we've been through in the last year. So some of the solutions, guys. And really, we need to ensure that people have choice. They have the freedom to choose, the freedom to take it, the freedom to not take it, the freedom to wait. Some people will want to wait. You know, I would rather wait. I'm kind of glad it's taking a long time here in Australia so we can see what's happening in other parts of the world and we can learn from them. I know that's kind of morbid, but that's the benefit of being a colony on the edge of the world. That's what we need. What do you reckon, everyone? Are you worried? Are you concerned? Yeah. Oops, wrong slide. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, or subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using affiliate links on Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Teespring, or support us using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.